Good evening, everyone, or late afternoon, whichever it may be. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Finally, I'm getting to do the podcast that I keep rescheduling. I know, right? But, some of it was due to strep throat, and my voice was shot during. I was almost completely gone by the time I finished that last stream on the 4th of July. This was actually supposed to be the sh- last podcast for the 4th of July's marathon stream, and I just didn't get to it. I ended up having to go to the doctor for strep throat. My voice is, it's just, throat's still a little sore, but at least I have my voice back. I can deal with the soreness. So, yeah, title's changed a little bit. It's been rescheduled too many times, and something I want to talk about, and something I really wanted to do on the 4th as well. You know, you know, the fight for our independence, because we are truly fighting for our independence right now, our freedoms, our liberties. You know, united we stand, divided we fall, and we are very divided. There's unity within small groups, but we still can't put our differences aside, come together, and do the things that we should be doing. And I want to get into subjects of how we got there, how we've gotten to this point, the tactics that have been used, cover a bunch of variety of things, but, that's if time permits. I've kind of promised Sword.9 that I would join him for his 200th episode that he's going to be doing, which, so if he happens to message in the middle of this, I will be ending the stream and I'll just do a part 2 to this. So just so you guys know, in case that message does come through, because we know I can't do short videos. But yeah, I mean, and I do. He's gonna have a few other guests on, so I might as well give you guys the heads up on that. I'll put the link in the chat before I end this, or if he does message and is ready to go live, I'll definitely take you guys over there because he puts out some awesome content. It's like me. I mean, he's getting ready to do his 200th video. It's going to be more of a celebration video. It's pretty much going to be balls to the wall, which is the way I like it. As you guys know, I'm pretty much low raw, uncut, say what I want, and say what's on my mind. That's what I like about him and respect about him. And, it'll cover, for all the military vets and military people that watch it or watch my podcast. I mean, that's some of the topics he talks about. I'm going to be more on the political end of things on there. So, I'm always about supporting good quality channels and especially friends. And while I'm on plugging things, and I might be rejoining Pirate Radio Podcast for an episode on their Tuesday Muck Around news hour for their first hour before the news segment starts. We've been talking about it. Don't know if it's going to be tonight or next week or in a couple weeks to come, but I am looking forward to that. It'd be nice to get back there, interact, because I learned a lot from Jaffe and all the pirate crew at Pirate Radio Podcast. So looking forward to that. And I'm just looking forward to all the changes that are taking place right now. A lot of positive things going on with Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I'm growing on all the platforms I'm on, which is a blessing to see, considering how I do things. I do things organically and let things just grow on their own. So, like I said, there's a blessing, and then it does show. We're starting to reach the people, the quality of people that we want, people that are open-minded. We might have different opinions and views, but we still have open minds to where we talk about these things and discuss these very subjects that are just not only affecting our country, but other countries as well. You know, I focus more on what's happening here in the United States than I do abroad, but I have friends that are abroad that also have their worries about their own country. So, like I said, we are making changes here. You know, I'm going to at least try to do a live call-in show once a week. But this week, I am going to be focused on 9 more videos. Because in 9 videos, I'll reach my 200 mark. So I am looking forward to that. I'm going to revisit some old things this week and some new stuff. I am going to, well, when I say revisit, I'm not going to so much revisit as I'm going to, the broken systems. I've been dying to get back doing videos on that. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 broken system videos this week and upload them. I'm also going to reach out to a couple people, maybe get a special guest. And yes, I'll throw a ramblings and a chaotic mind in there for those that love that so much. We all know I got plenty of stuff to ramble on. But right now, you know, it's like things are going good on my end. Now if I can just find a job, that'll put me the icing on the cake, right? And I'm working on that too, so I've got my plate full. But I still enjoy doing this. I'm enjoying what I'm getting ready to do with Sons and Daughters of Liberty. So, with that all said, let's get into tonight's topics. Well, one more thing before I go. To everyone, whatever platform you're on that's listening where I share this, thank you for following me, subscribing, or whatever the label they want to use. Thank you for sharing the content that I don't ask you to do. Thank you for the comments and feedback, because that's what I thrive on more. The interaction with people, the interaction in the chat, in the comments. So, thank you. And speaking of sharing, I've already missed 2 spots. You know, that's something else I am going to do. I'm going to do 2 videos. One video on tools, the tools we have on the internet, because I know some people go, oh, you're sharing to Facebook. It's a tool. Twitter's a tool. Gab's a tool. Steam, it's a tool. They're all platforms where we can reach out to people. For some people, they just want to delete Facebook. Well, I have other reasons to be on Facebook than sharing my content, obviously. So, you know, and the answer, and that's why I mentioned it, the answer isn't to run from these platforms, it's to take a stand, unite and stand up. That's the only way we're going to make any change. You know, how many people are actually standing up, taking advantage of the fact we have senators now that's being really critical, out speaking out against the censorship. You know, that's what we need to jump on. When these opportunities come around, we need to jump on them. The answer has never been running, especially for us in America. If you know your history, which you all should, and if you're most of us older ones, we know that our children aren't being taught real history. It's our duty, our due diligence to be teaching our children our history, the right history. And Free Spirit Press brings up a good point. Go to some of these old bookstores, find the old history books from when you were a kid, I was a kid, the old Encyclopedia Britannica. I mean, you can find them places like the Restore or antique shops, garage sales. Start picking up these books because that history is no longer taught. Really. Anybody else been having issues sharing to Facebook? I've been having all kinds of issues with it. Whether the page not wanting to work or it'll, I don't know, it'll just blank out once you hit post to Facebook to where you have to redo it again. It's been very glitchy for the past 2 weeks. Of course, I know most of you gave up on Facebook a long time ago, but you know, it's a tool. It's also a place that we need to be speaking out against. I mean, Zuckerberg, he's done things that completely anti-American. We all know it. He's been caught. I mean, his staff and admins and people that work for him went as far as last year on the 4th of July removing the Declaration of Independence, saying it was hate speech. But yet they'll leave a video up. You know what I'm talking about. We don't even mention it. I don't even want to get on that subject of what took place in that video. But yeah, for over 48 hours, 24 hours, it was sickening. You know, Twitter does the same thing. I mean, many of us has busted them. They left a pedophiles page up for a week, but before I can snap my finger, they'll suspend us, ban us, shadow ban us, with them like that. But they'll leave a pedophiles page up for a week with thousands and thousands of people reporting it daily for a week. So yes, there's censorship on every platform we go to. As I exposed yesterday, as I exposed D Live, censorship there. In fact, it's very bad if you actually read their community guidelines. We know we gotta quit playing follow the leader. Because if we're following, we're running. We're not taking stands. Apparently this ain't gonna post. Give it a second to load. So yeah, I don't know what's quite going on. Like I said, Facebook's been glitchy. But you know, that's some of the problem. We've got ourselves so spread out all over and divided over stupid stuff. I mean, we let common political hypocrisy divide us. We let labels divide us. We want to put ourselves in categories that further divide us. You know, some people ask me, "Oh, what are you? A Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal?" I'm none of those things. I'm an American citizen. I'm an American. That's all you need to know. I mean, I remember growing up, nobody talked about who they were voting for. You know, that was like something sacred to them. Now it's common talk. You know, as we advanced in age, gotten further. Okay, this is just ridiculous. There's more than one way to share a post. Like I said, there's a workaround for everything. kind of sad that we got to actually look for those workarounds and have to do those things because they just want to stop information from getting out. But they've been good at that for a while. And that's the other thing. When we see people that get suspended or banned from these platforms, we need to stand up for them, whether we like them or not. Because when we let one person get them do it to one person, eventually we're next in line. And that's how it works. But yet they use that to divide us. Oh, this person was no. Come on, we should have common sense. Enough common sense to see the manipulation and the lies and deceits and the illusions that are trying to pull over us every day. I mean, they use race against us all the time. They misuse terms and labels such as illegal alien and immigration. Two different things. There's a right way to do things, and there's an illegal way to do it. Those who do it illegal commit a crime and violated our laws. If you can't respect our laws to start with, you have no business being in our country to begin with. There's a right way to go through the process. Haha, this is funny. America First GOP congressional candidate Joey Salandino files lawsuit against AOC for blocking him on Twitter. That's the thing, guys. That little civil case that went in the civil courts, basically saying you can't block a person, has repercussions because now it's on the books. Now it's something a lawyer can say, well, this was one here. Now they can use it to recite as a law or recite as a case law to win their case and argument. And I love that. Do I totally agree with it? No, because I think you should have a right to block people. Why? I mean, there's people out there that they're just going to spam you with nothing but hate, threats, and troll your feeds. You should have a right to block them. But hey, what's good for the goose is also good for the gander, right? Sometimes people forget. We can play the games too. We can be just as dirty as they are. And they know that. So that's why they are always pushing for division. Always trying to find ways to divide us, whether it be through gender identity, or whatever they want to label it. Or congressmen going across our border, bringing children over, which those congressmen that did that, or the representatives or staff, and these people that are going there, they're telling them they need to be held accountable. In fact, they need to be removed from office immediately. And that's the biggest fear. They don't want people like me and everybody else on here exposing that. They don't want us showing you the laws, showing you the facts. Because when we start doing that, we start exposing them for what they are. Not that we have to, they do it right in front of your face every day. And it's just not one side. Let's get that straight right now. It's just not the left that's doing it, it's the right doing it too. All of our politicians, for the most part, are corrupt in some form. Now we get caught in that label game, left versus right. Let me tell you something. You're neither. You're an American citizen. Start acting like it. Many of you scream, I believe in the Constitution. And start acting like it. Because in our Constitution, everybody's got freedom of expression and freedom of opinion. Start respecting that. Start showing that you value our Constitution. Stop going around because something offends you. Oh, I'm going to report it so that content gets taken down. Maybe take that time that you're going to spend reporting that, leave a comment why you disagree. Be nice, be respectful. Bring your argument to the table, your experience. Be smart about it. Open a dialogue. You might learn something. But what does that do when you start doing it that way? You start opening dialogues. You start mending that division that they've tried to divide us with. We lose if we're divided. These social media platforms, they win as long as they can keep us divided. As long as they can keep it in your mind, oh, you can run over here. We don't care. Go ahead, go over to D-Live. We already made money off you. We're going to still be making money off the younger generation that comes up and come over here. We're going to make money by now putting the attention on the major news outlet and the things that will make us more money. See, we're no longer that valuable to them because many of us are not advertiser friendly. Good. I'm not advertiser friendly. Knew that, stated that from the get-rip. That's why I never monetized, because I'm not. Because if I monetize, they get control over what I say. Nobody's going to have control over that. The only person that has control over what I say is me. That's the beautiful thing about things. It's the beautiful thing about the platforms that we are on, many of them. We have the ability to reach people. We have the ability to reach millions of people worldwide. And there's a bunch of people that have abused that, oh, I'm just going to do this so I get rich. I don't care about doing the proper research into things. That's what made me so disappointed in a bunch of people. They would have just done their research on D-Live, since this happened back in April. They would have found that D-Live has suspended people. As I stated last night, they would have done their research. The first red flag is, well, why can't I find anything on D-Live? Not even so much as a Wikipedia page on D-Live. And we're not going to get me started on Wikipedia. I've already been there, done that, already exposed Wikipedia for what it is. And then I will state this before we move on off of Wikipedia. It's only going to get worse. Now they're going to a decentralized platform, which is going to mean they'll have complete control over who's on there, who posts. They already do. I mean, I've got the email still. I've got the videos still of all that fiasco with the Wikipedia and how they're not responsible for what people change or post or what they allow posted. It is the group, that little selective group that's there that posts all those pages. And that selective group has final say over anybody else's pages. You as the content creator does not. And if you push the issue too far, they will ban your IP address like they did me. That was the end result of that investigation. We talk about these decentralized platforms. Yes, there's advantages to them. We've not really talked about the cons. And Wikipedia is going to start pointing those cons out when they eventually merge over to a decentralized platform. See, all this blockchain stuff, crypto stuff, it's not completely the answer either. And actually, I mean, they still have the same control that they have now. Nothing changes. Just because they go onto a decentralized platform, it don't change the fact they're still going to have the same things in place. They're still going to be able to censor people, block people, kick them off. For every good we can find bad, because somebody will find a way to abuse it. Just like the mines, man, they're making a statement. But as I called it when I seen how the jury system was set up, and I've done many juries now, you know, it's getting abused because it's based on how active you are on here. And I'm always sharing other people's stuff here. I'm posting my own stuff. But I share more of your stuff out there than I post my own. But that, it's also how interactive you are. Are you liking, commenting, reminding stuff? If you are, it makes you active, which means you're more likely to get put on a jury when something comes up. And there's people on here that is abusing the system. But here's the difference between all the other platforms. They listen to you. They take your feedback. They're trying to make it better. Now that's something I can get behind and support. But I also know in the long run, they may be on a decentralized platform. Well, they are. They're on a blockchain platform. But they're eventually going to have government come in, like they've done, and threaten them. Tell them, nope, they're going to have other countries come in. You can't post this content. You have to obey our laws. If they don't, they'll start getting their stuff removed. Eventually, they'll be forced off or blacklisted. Oh, wait, can't say blacklisted in Google search anymore. Please. That's the other thing. Oh, you can't use this word. It's offensive. You can burn the American flag, but you can't burn a gay pride flag. There ain't no difference. It's a flag is a flag. Supreme Court already ruled it's not hate speech. It's protected under the First Amendment right. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I personally find it very disrespectful, distasteful. Don't do it in front of me. There is a proper way to burn the U.S. flag. When it gets old, it is to be burnt, but there's a proper way to do it. We were taught that in the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, even Cub Scouts are taught that. The military knows how to do it. There's a proper ceremony that gets done in place. But that's when the flag is old and it needs to be retired, or so. That's part of our history. But yet we've seen, what is it, last year or the year before? Look what the Boy Scouts did. They allowed themselves to get pushed and pushed and pushed into, oh, we're going to allow, Boy Scouts is no longer going to be just the Boy Scouts. We're going to have it to all genders. What the hell? That's not what it's about. We have Girl Scouts, we have Boy Scouts. Two separate, it's to make, with two separate teaching ideologies, making women better leaders. Same way with the Boy Scouts, making men, better leaders. Weren't never to be intermixed. But oh no, all this diversity. And do I have to break down the word diversity again? Diversity is division. They want to divide you. It's not uniting people. Diversity does not mean that. Go look up the root origins of the words. Do your research. Quit letting people manipulate you and trick you and lie to you, saying this word means this, or this is the definition for it, when it is not. But they use that as a tool. Let me tell you something. Every tool that they use, you have every ability to use it too. Every time they want to manipulate and play on words, upgrade your vocabulary and do it right back. They want to censor. Don't run, take a stand, get with people, bring people in. Every one of you on here on YouTube, and I'm going to show you how this stuff works. All you have this ability. Actually, I did that wrong. Easy fix. Maybe. Nope, not an easy fix. Okay. I clicked on the wrong thing. Go to your settings. I'm going to show you how to do this. Scroll all the way down here. See managers? Add or remove managers. Manage permissions and roles. That's what you click on. You can add people to your channel. You can owner, primary owner, which I'm the primary owner on, communication manager. You can give them, assign them positions, which gives them access to be able to do things on your channel. Managers, they can actually come over here on my channel and live stream and do their own podcast. So we have the ability to bring people in. How many people's actually using this tool? I know I'm going to get more in depth with this in the tools part, but I want to show you guys we have the ability to do things. We have ability to use what they've given us to make a statement. We have the ability to, all right, since you're taking most of the money anyway, I'm not going to monetize my channel. If everybody stopped monetizing their channel on YouTube, they'd have to make some changes. But we got people that are greedy that won't do it. So that's not going to work. I mean, and those that went over to D Live, well, the Lino's still in testnet, so it's not even an actual currency. And if you actually do a little research into that, you'll find out that it's kind of a scam right now. But actually, it is a scam the way it's set up. The more and more I research into D Live, the more and more I don't want no parts of it. I don't want them having any information. Why? Because it's pretty much all China backed. And China ran. How much free speech you think you're going to have? Once they reach whatever goal they have in mind. They're already talking about bringing advertisers in. We've seen what advertisers do, right? YouTube's a perfect example of what happens when advertisers come into play. I mean, if you really read their community guidelines, you wouldn't be over there. But some of you guys are going to have to learn the hard way. I can't wait to see you learn the hard way, honestly. Because it's not a free speech platform. There is no true free speech platform. Yet. Minds is getting there. They got to make some changes, though. They got to start implementing a punish system for those that are abusing the reports. I mean, if you make a false report to a cop, I'll state this every time I talk about this, you committed a crime. You're going to go to jail. You're going to have to go to court, pay court costs, lawyer fees for falsifying a report. That's what other platforms need to start doing. People that are habitual offenders, those are the ones that should be kicked off your platform. Some people, well, that's infringing on free speech. No, it's not. Not when you're falsifying things, committing a actual legal crime, illegal crime. That's defined as illegal. That's no difference. Oh, that's fake news. Nothing I report's fake. It's all my opinions and views. Read my description. And if I get something wrong, I do correct it. You know, I don't need fact checkers. I'm my own fact checker. And I don't just check one-sidedly. I check all sides. Read, listen to every opinion and view on the matter from both sides. And I formulate and come up with my own opinion and view on the matter. Sometimes I share it. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't. Just like some of us got in that habit of when something happens, we're so quick to label it something that it might not be. We don't have all the facts. We're listening to witness testimony, which, do your research on that. It's not really credible because it might be a traumatic event, and the mind only sees what it wants to see at the time to protect you from other things. I mean, it's well documented. There's been court cases actually won on those grounds. So no, we shouldn't be jumping to conclusions right away. You end up getting burnt, you end up eating crow. Been there, done that, experienced it once, won't happen again. After that, I made my point, no, not until everything's thoroughly researched. Not until time has gone by, things have been come out, that I can go view it for myself. And I'm not going to sit here and call something a false flag either. Because how do I know? We don't. Did you research it? So why are you putting a trigger word out there to trigger other people? First thing they hear, as soon as they hear false flag, oh, it's fake news. This is staged. Bring your evidence before you say it. Bring your evidence and your facts to support your opinion, because that's what it is when you use that trigger word. It's your opinion. And you can't have no facts if it just happened, if evidence hasn't even been put to the public yet. You see, we cause our own divisions and rifts. We got to start taking the credibility and accountability for ourselves. We got to stop letting them manipulate us and pitting us against each other. Are there streamers out there I can't stand? Yep. And there's a couple that I've actually came to their aid, reached out to them, gave them the olive branch. I'm going to put my differences aside right now because I might not agree with what you talk about, but that's your freedom of speech. You have the right to express your opinions and views. Express yourself. We cannot allow that to be taken away. Because when they take that away, we have nothing. We are nothing more than slaves to a master. Oh, wait, can't use those words in Google search anymore. What the hell? What can I use? Oh, Trumpish? That's not allowed? Why? Master and slave means something completely different to me. There's more than one terminology for master and slave. Or dom, submissive. Dominant, submissive. There's more than one definition for those words. So don't play the word game with me. How many definitions for the word fuck is there? Just saying. I think George Carlin said it best when it comes to the word fuck. Everything's a word game. Everything's a play on words. Those that know how to do it, they can manipulate people into anything and everything. That's the problem. People give words too much meaning and too much power when they should have none. The only time they should have meaning and power is when you give them meaning and power. You start learning that lesson, it's one less tool they can use to divide us. It's one less tool they can use against us to trigger us. They've been pushing division so much. Now we got sanctuary cities, which is another thing that will divide us and pit us against each other. They misuse legal terminology of illegal alien versus immigration and immigrant. They're all different with different meanings and different categories when it comes to the legal aspect. Understand that, know that. Research that. Understand the legal terminology and definition. When you do so, you're educating yourself. You're taking that tool that they're using as a weapon to divide you away from them. If we're going to truly fight for our independence, the answer is not running, the answer is educating. We have to start educating ourselves. We have to stop calling people evil who are not, just because we disagree with their opinions and views. We know what evil is. We know what good is. They do not need to be further defined or put upon somebody just because you differ with the opinions or because they made a mistake a long time ago, but they've not made that mistake or repeated those actions. But you can't see past their past and see them for who they are. And they use that as well to divide us. They use these social media platforms to divide us. They use these social media platforms to bait us in, draw us in, and treat us like cattle. Or, let me use the proper phrase, treat us like lambs before the slaughter. We're just a number. We're not. We start out as a commodity, then we become a product. Once the product no longer has value or it's expired, they get rid of it. As we do with all things that expire, we get rid of it. Or when our tools no longer are useful or can be used, we get rid of it. We get a new tool. There's a lot of games that's being played. On the psychological level, most people don't understand how powerful memes are. That's another manipulative tool that's made to really cause chaos and mayhem, because that's what it's actually labeled under. It's chaos magic. But most people don't understand that, know that, because most people won't even go down that road and research it, because why? It's evil. Except for, you should know that thing. You should know thine enemy. Know the tools that they'll use, so you can defend against them. We all have our expertise in areas. Start surrounding yourself with people in other expertise in areas. Start listening. Start building your own tools up. Stop letting them play this division game, this label game. There should be no label. There's so many important issues we need to be talking about. Our school systems, for one. And that is actually going to be the next broken system video I do. Is going to be our education system. Because that's the system that's training the next generation. Training our future leaders. Our future workers. And that system is failing us every day. We've got schools that can't get funding because they refuse to teach Common Core. Where all the money goes to the schools that teach Common Core. Now, I've talked about this. Rob the Man's talked about it. Even sat there and told you what happened. How him and his wife had to go buy chairs so their kids in the classroom everybody had a chair to sit on because the school didn't have the funding for it. Because they would refuse to teach Common Core. We've got states that are illegally making laws and doing things that goes against our Constitution. But yet there's no action being taken against those that commit the crime. But when we commit a crime or break the law, we go right straight to jail. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. No get out of jail free card either. In fact, you're going to find yourself really in debt when it's all said and done after you fight the case. And that's saying you don't go to jail. Our judiciary system is a mockery as judicial. Is a mockery. We all know it. We see it. But yeah, when you start talking about those issues, you take the risk of getting censored, shadow banned, and all the other colorful labels they want to use to censor you, to take your freedom of speech away, your freedom of expression away. Then what do? Well, let's just infiltrate some of these groups out there and turn them violent. Then let them run amok in these towns, destroying things, beating people up, till eventually somebody ends up dying. Then we're gonna say, oh, nobody can gather, which violates our Constitution, just like they've been doing when we've seen Ferguson, Bundy Ranch, and stuff like that. There's your free speech press zone. And corral everybody in there. You can't be outside of that. Wrong. That violates our constitutional rights. But yeah, how many people gave in and went over there? All the mainstream media went over there, showing everybody, oh yes, we need to be over here. This is where we're designated to be. We're not allowed to go over there. Sowing the seeds of discord, sowing the seeds of illusions and lies. That's what they're doing, manipulating their audience to believe that your free speech stops right there in that little box that they've just drawn out or fenced off. And they use incidents like, or groups like Antifa to show that, well, we got to have it because of this. I'd like to see that whole group fully investigated. And you know what? I don't want to investigate it in the traditional way. I want to investigate it. Show me where the money's coming from. Who's supporting? Go after the people. Let's donate, giving them the money. Start putting the people out there. Let's put the money out there, especially if it ties back to congressmen and our elected officials or their campaigns. Yes, I am tired of the violence. But the answer is not to meet violence with violence, as some people are thinking because they're just so sick and tired. The answer is not going to reach out to every group you know. Let's go to Portland on this date, and we're going to confront Antifa. We're going to show them we're not going to. Congratulations. You're just buying into what they're already trying to get you to do. You do that, they're going to say it's civil unrest. You're going to give them the excuse to take their guns. And I'm going to talk about this little subject on Sword.9's podcast for his 200th show. Because, there's pictures and videos out there that I don't want to hear anybody say they're woke. If you miss this stuff on these pictures and videos and you're not calling it out, then you guys, there's a problem. You guys have lost your way. You're not reporting things anymore. You're running. You're scared to do your job. But I'm going to save that little tidbit for his podcast because it's something that does need to be addressed. And maybe you guys should hear it. Maybe you guys can beat me to the punch and do your due diligence and properly research things. Some people may say, well, the way I've been talking the last few days is causing division. No, it's not. I'm not the one that ran. I'm not the one that has not been doing their due diligence. And the fact is, I've never really sat on here and claimed to be a truther or anything because I don't use labels. Obviously, this is Sons and Daughters of Liberty. I used we a lot. It's just not me, it's you. We're all sons and daughters of liberty. We're all brothers and sisters. Most of us are Americans. There's a few that aren't. But you know what? They're still my brothers and sisters. Because they're humans. When we look past race, nationality, and stuff like that, we're taking away one of their biggest weapons they use against us. I personally don't care what your gender is, because the fact is fact. You're, no matter what you do, you're still either going to be male or female. You can't change your DNA. I'm sure eventually, the way they play with genetics and stuff, that's one day that might be possible. But right now it's not, and this should never even be an issue for debate. I mean, that's one issue that can be squashed right then and there by the Supreme Court, by somebody taking this case to the Supreme Court and just putting the facts for what they are. You can't change your DNA. You can legally change your name, but the bottom line is you can't change what you are. You can't change what you were born as. I can respect if you want to be that. I've got friends that are transgender, that are homosexual, that are transvestites. Fuck, I have a friend that's a hermaphrodite. How do you label that? Well, that's how. They're a hermaphrodite. She's still a she. She's still a woman. Her DNA says she's a woman. It's just a medical anomaly, and it's very rare. But yet they're using that to divide us, pit us against us. Oh, you're talking about that's offensive. I really don't care what is offensive to you. Because obviously you have some psychological issues if you're letting words offend you. You're letting somebody's talk offend you. You're acting like a child. Grow up. Better yet, go take somebody, record them and hand them the video. Here, watch yourself. See how immature you look. No, we got kids that we can tell today and age, they're just out of control. And I'm never going to sit here and blame the parents, because the parents have been taken completely out of the equation. You know, there's a reason why they manipulate the economy and stuff. There's a reason why in the 90s it got to the point where both parents started to have to work. Take the parents out of the home, then you start changing the education system and taking complete control over the kids. Both parents are working, they don't got time to see what their kids are learning. How many people actually sit down at the dinner table with their family and have dinner at the dinner table? No. Most households, everybody eats in their own room or at their own time. Maybe the parents in the living room, the kids in their room. Nobody sits down as a whole family anymore at the dinner table. We've lost our values and morals and traditions that made us such a great nation. Why? Because we let stupid ideologies infect our homes. We let improper people teach our kids. And the system's in place to where it's to be that way. It really is. The states worked hard to strip you of the rights to even punish your children when they do something wrong. If we would have took stands, this is why I'm so big on this, we need to take stand. If we would have took a stand back in the 90s on that issue, our kids wouldn't be the way they are today. If we took a stand when they first tried to push Common Core in our school systems wouldn't be as bad as they are today. We've got to put everything that divides us aside. We got to stop letting it divide us. We got to start uniting. We got to start bringing people into our channels, into our platforms, into our circles that believe in the same ideologies, same American dream, that believe in our freedoms. We got to start educating our youth. Thankfully, we've been misled on that one. A lot of our youth is awake. They're questioning the very same things we're talking about. Why is it happening? But most people can't get out of their box. Step outside their box, outside of that little protective bubble they don't realize they're putting around themselves, and go see for themselves. Interact with people. We've gotten so used to interacting only on social media. Let me tell you something. There's a whole other world outside this screen or whatever device you're using to stare at, listen to this. Go out there and experience it. Put your phone down for 2 hours a day. Open up dialogues while you're waiting in line at the shopping centers. Oh, wait, they're trying to get rid of all the checkouts. Here, use a scan and go at Walmart. Or go to these other ones where you don't have to wait on a cashier. You can do it yourself. Here, you don't even go to the theater anymore. You can get a virtual ticket. Question those things. Why are they doing it? You're seeing why. If we can divide people, keep people from congregating, we can start manipulating them. These are the discussions we need to be talking about. We need to be talking about the tools and weapons they're using against us. How we've gotten to this point. That's how we've gotten to this point. We've let them by not taking a stand when we should. The answer on YouTube is not running. The answer on Facebook is not running. We've got congressmen right now that's standing up for, trying to stand up to these guys. Bring your evidence. Submit them to them. Find the ones that are actually speaking out. Send them the information that you have, the screenshots, your testimony. Flood it. Make this a priority issue, because it should be a priority. This should be every candidate's priority. Not allowing censorship. But how many of these candidates are taking money from these big techs corporations, these big social media corporations? There's an easy fix to that. Get Congress to make an amendment to our Constitution. That way it can go, or get some legal people to actually go file an appeal against the Supreme Court's order. Go back and grab what Justice Scalia said. Use the examples we have now, how these corporations are manipulating our elections. Time to get rid of big corporate sectors altogether, having anything to do with our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. In fact, they're supposed to obey our Bill of Rights. And stop letting them give money to buy elections. Stop allowing platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube say what can be talked and what can't be when it comes to politics. Everything's allowed to be talked about when it comes to politics. Everybody's allowed to share their views and opinions about their candidates, about the people that represent them or going in the future represent them. That is our right. That is our actual sacred right. That is protected by the Constitution. You can't take that away from us. Know your Constitution. Know your laws. Once you start learning that, there's your ammunition. That's how you fight these platforms. Yes, I know. Got to have money. I'll tell you what, when we start getting together and start actually taking stand, there's going to be people that's going to want to stand up with us and that has those backgrounds in criminology, that has the backgrounds as lawyers. There's going to be people it's not about the money, it's about what this country stands for. But we can't do that when we're divided. Ain't nobody going to come to your aid when we're divided. When you're running. Because all they say, oh, it's a lost cause, they're running. We don't got enough support and backing. But yet, you keep doing it. You keep, oh, this is perfect, and you didn't even do your damn research. You didn't even listen to yourself. And that's the other problem. People have forgotten how to listen to themselves. Listen to that inner voice of theirs. Something's not don't feel right. It's that the little voice that makes you question something, or you just get that feeling something's not right about this, to where you actually Start questioning it more and more, and then you go research, learn. Why? Because it's been stripped away from you. It's been deprogrammed out of you. It's not you're still there. You just got to find the key and reopen that door again and start practicing it so it becomes just natural. It happens on instinct. We as a human beings, we kind of know, we can sense the things when something's not right or something's about to happen. They've worked hard trying to strip you from that. We know, we've heard the talks about all the many different ways, from the cell phones to the Wi-Fi. It's all about frequency and vibration. There's people out there who know how to manipulate and use frequency vibration, and they do it on it every day. And you guys let it into your home without even realizing it. Then when people bring it up, oh, that's no. But yet you do believe in the same aspects when it comes to prayer, angels, feeling. I mean, I remember what it was like when I was saved, when I was baptized. I remember that feeling. It was like cloud nine. Can't change that. That's something you feel. You know. So why did you stop yourself from feeling those things? The very things that God gifted upon you. The ability to sense and feel things around you. What made you stop? Hey, Bree, I am about to wrap this up. I got somebody on Hangouts that's messaging me. So you guys need to start thinking. You need to start questioning. You need to stop giving words power. You need to stop giving people power over you. You need to start becoming the masters and not the slaves. Because you're supposed to be masters of your household. You're supposed to be masters of your own reality, of your own lives. Don't be submissive to somebody else. Don't be a slave to somebody else. Or to whatever we're addicted to, whether it be the next new iPhone that's going to be coming out soon because we got to have it because it's an addiction. No, it's just mental programming. You've been brainwashed to really think you have to have it. Yes, there is manipulation there, as they've been caught with their little battery issues. We don't need the new next thing. Because let me tell you something. The tech, what they proclaim as new, is old. That's the little dirty secret about that. You know what your most powerful weapon is? Your mind. Start using it. Next most powerful weapon you have is your voice. Start using it. Most two powerful tools you possess, is your mind and your voice. Start using it. Stop letting them use it for you. Stop letting them control it for you. Stop running. Start getting together and taking stands. Stop letting these issues become catastrophes because we wouldn't take a stand when it first happened. Oh, no, we'll just let it play out. No, that keeps getting us in the same revolving door. And look where we're at today. Just take a look around you. Do you like what you see? Do you like the fact that everybody's running from these platforms? I mean, if you do, maybe you need to retake a look in the mirror and start questioning why you feel that way. Because nobody does. Nobody likes seeing the violence. Nobody wants to be lied to every day. And that's what happens every day on most of these major news networks. Pushing propaganda, half-truths, some just straight out, bold-faced lies. Start showing your proof. Okay, show me the evidence. Show me your proof. Until then, I'm not going to believe a word a single news agency says. Show me the proof. Show me the documentation. Oh, I got to go do your job for you and research it myself. Okay, cool. I don't need to be listening to you. It's that simple, guys. We all know Common Core is wrong. We all know taking away our history is wrong and rewriting our history is completely wrong. But, oh no, it's a race thing. We got to remove it because it's racial. No, it's not. It's a reminder of what happens so we don't make the same mistakes. And guess what? We're making the same mistakes. We're allowing them to do exactly what fucking Hitler did in World War II through the book burning, destroying of intellectual material. Are we going to keep letting history constantly repeat itself? Because history does repeat itself when we start erasing history. When our schools stop teaching history, the right history, when they start saying, oh, this happened. And I don't need a fact checker to fact check my stuff. I do quite good at it myself. And I've got other people that also fact check things for me. Then I go back and double check their facts to make sure, there's a system in place. How have you guys gotten away from all those things? How have you let them use and manipulate those things? How do you let these corporations say, well, we got our own fact checkers? Well, yeah, you're paying them. So I'm not going to believe a word they say. Just like we have scientists and science. We got two different scientists saying two different things about one issue. You know what? Follow the money. Well, I bet this scientist don't have that much funding, where this one's getting all kinds of funding. A lot of it political. You know which one I'm discrediting real quick? Well, I gave you guys enough to think about. Like I said, I need to wrap this up. I need to go talk to somebody real quick. And it's something for you guys to think about. Why are we so divided? Why are we allowing this division to keep happening? You know, I get along with so many different people from so many different niches, genres, groups, whatever you want to put the label as. I get along with everyone. Don't care about their religious views or preferences. Don't care about their sexuality. I look at them as they're human being. If we can have a good conversation, that's all I need. Even when we disagree on things, we can still have that conversation. We'll just agree to disagree and move on to the next subject. We've gotten away from those things. And they know it, and they use that to further divide us and pit us against each other. That's why I said enough's enough. I've chose where I'm taking my stands and the stances I'm going to take on things. And that's just how it's going to be for me from here on out. And I'm going to keep doing the things that I've been doing. I'm going to start getting back to the things that are important. Topics like this, other topics. How the system's been manipulated, how it's been used and abused to get to where we're at today. It's time to start educating, not fighting people, not judging people. Like I said, you want change? Change starts at the home. You got to be willing to change yourself. You got to be willing to open that door, step out that box, and face those fears that you have. Because if you're given a word power, there's something there you fear. And I'm taking the gloves completely off from here on out. I'm going to be hammering these issues. I'm going to keep also be pushing other things, talking about the tools we have, show you my equipment that I have for when I go out, stuff that I've invested in past year, give you guys ideas. And you don't need the expensive stuff. None of my stuff is expensive that I bought is that expensive. Because I shop around, I look, find the deals. Check your pawn stores. You'll be amazed what you can find there. Because the camera system I got, other than the TS5, the Rebel TS5, I bought it for 250 bucks out of a pawn store. Bought a TS6 with 4 different lenses, tripod, extra batteries. When you add it all up, boy, did I get a steal. And it works for what I want to do. Your phone works perfect for what things you need to do. Yes, invested in a MiFi or a hotspot. Now I've got 2 hotspots because my phone works great for a hotspot. It allows me to be more mobile now, where I wasn't in the past. So yes, I've got a lot of plans. Now it's just getting a vehicle back on the road, which I'm hopefully have one of the vehicles back on the road by the end of this week. Things to think about, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you on the next one. And remember, I'll share the links when SwordPoint9 decides to go live and do his 200th episode. I recommend you guys all come over and check him out. Click on the link. You guys, definitely, it's going to be one hell of a show, podcast. I know that. Because he puts out some great content himself. And you're going to have people on there with very different backgrounds and things. So, with that, I will see you guys on the next one. You guys all have a wonderful week. Be safe. And start questioning things.